And next up, we have book 2 in the Infinite World series, A Broken Bond, written by J.T. Wright. And again, I liked book number 1 enough that I immediately jumped into book number 2. This is 292 pages. It is $2.98. It's available on Kindle Unlimited, and here's the author's description. Having experienced his first survival-type trial, Trent Embra is eager to explore what else the world has to offer. There is only one problem. Not everyone comes away from a month of constant fighting untouched. Trent's friend, Tersa, is unhinged by her time in the land of the Undying Lord, and Sergeant Cullen means to see her fixed. Trent, enlisted to help, is dragged towards another trial, mostly willingly. Only time will tell if Tersa still has a place in the guard and what the infinite world has in store for Trent. There we go. It's a short novel description for kind of a short novel for a little bitty story. And just to recap real quick, I really enjoyed book number 1. I thought it was a great story. Good plotting of the story arc. And once the group reaches that dungeon, everything comes together really well. There's good world building, action, adventure, camaraderie in the story. And in book 2, a lot of that returns. There's still good adventure. There's still good world development, world building, and good camaraderie. However, the story plotting kind of disappears a little bit. The story becomes very much a slice of life story where you're following the main character and some other characters as they split apart and go their separate ways. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of multi-narrative stories. This one isn't bad. I like most of the characters, but there definitely felt like there were some introduced characters that were random, to say the least. And they don't interact with the main character. So in book 1, this happened a little bit as well, where you had like three or four different story arcs where you're following different groups as they're in like the big dungeon. But eventually in book 1, those stories arcs came together very nicely. In book 2, they don't. Like the story arcs are just separate and they don't ever connect together again. And so it was a little bit less enjoyable. Still enjoyed the story. I did. I just didn't think it was quite as enjoyable as book 1 in that particular series. I felt like these other characters are going on their own side journeys and they didn't really connect back to the main character who I really liked. It felt like they were tacked on a little bit, especially some of the random characters towards the end. And I'm sure they're all going to tie together in book 3. It's just that in book 2, it felt like it felt a little loose. So there you go. On the RPG side of things, still the same as book 1, still good stuff there. There's new information. I think the big twist for the RPG mechanics is definitely in the story, the advancement of classes and multi-classing, getting advanced classes by merging other classes that you have together. I think the big thing there was that showing how these classes that you're taking actually impact you as a human being. So becoming a berserker makes you more aggressive, makes you, less reasonable. Becoming a defender or cleric of the faith might make you more pious or more calm in that case. And so the actual personality consequences for choosing a particular path and you mastering your class really means that you have to master yourself, your own personality. So there's definitely some introspective personality development for these characters. And it's not just the main characters, other characters in the story as well. So I thought it was well done. And again, the author does a really good job of making the RPG stuff very nicely woven into the actual culture of the world, of the story world itself. So good on them there. Overall, I still like the story, had a good time with it, but it does drop from great to just good from me. The characters are so likable. The RPG progression, action, adventure was all very satisfying. But again, there wasn't nearly as much plot advancement as I was expecting. And that might just be due to the fact that the novel is a bit over half the size of what book 1 was. And in a lot of ways, it kind of feels like it's half a novel when you compare it to that first book. So for me, still gets a good score, 7.4 out of 10. But again, just not quite as enjoyable as book 1 for me. That's The Broken Bond, The Infinite World book number 2 with a score of 7.4 out of 10.